Okay, what is up? I am back with another match I recorded with a friend of mine before, I think this is before an Edison Locals or maybe right after. Um, I am on Karakuri Geargia, um, and my buddy is on Agents. I think it's very similar to Pro Storm's list. I think I posted this same matchup already. Oh, this looks kind of cool sped up. My buddy just snatched that. But yeah, I think I posted the same matchup. This is a deck that I really like. It's maybe my second favorite deck behind Windups, or maybe my third behind Psychics. Um, and I do expect that Agents is going to get representation, having won the big multi-day um, from Pro Storm. So I do expect that this is a matchup that you will see. If you're playing either of these decks, it's probably something worth preparing for. I do expect to play against Agents, and I do think everyone should expect to play against Geargia because I think it's one of the strongest, most consistent decks. This list is actually I had tried Karakuri Geargia and been frustrated with drawing the tuners, so I put together just the Samu list. And when I was looking at it, I was just like, man, I'm just like 3 cards away from being able to just play my Karakuri list. There are just 3 cards I want to fit in here, so I ended up just, even though told myself I was going to play just the rank 4 deck with a lot of traps, I was able to just move it a little bit, change just a few things, and make it Karakuri Geargia, which is what I really prefer, just because it's more fun. But yeah, you see I start off with the armor, which is great, set 2. I believe one of those is a Starlight Road, which I'm hot and cold on. Like, you kind of need it because you can get blown out by Storm, but also it can just do nothing. And then my opponent opened Tour Guide, leave the Sangan, so this should have given me and you can see he heralds my armor. Anyways, this should have given me a little bit of a tell that he's thinking about tribute summoning, because he just leaves the Sangan there. Otherwise, maybe he just doesn't have any of his agent starters. But this does give a little information that maybe he's thinking about tribute summoning into a Christia. And then he orange lights me, and I'm thinking about compulsing, because if this was a Veiler and not an orange light, my armor would survive this and resolve. But since it's an orange light, it can negate and destroy anywhere. It can negate and destroy even like another orange light or a Maxi, any hand trap. Orange light is a really cool card. But anyways, fortunately for me, I have another access to armor, which is very lucky. I normal summon the Arsenal and hit over his Tour Guide, because I don't want him to just have the option of overlaying into Leviathan to attack over my armor, which is risky because he could drop a Tragodia right there. But it felt worth it to me, because then, I'm still going to resolve my armor effect and then have access to a rank 3 play with the Arsenal in the graveyard. Anyways, here's a big misplay on my opponent's part. He reborns my armor, which I could chain Call of the Haunted, which is played in this deck. Then there's a big misplay on my part, where he actually activates the armor effect just to fuck with me, which is pretty funny, honestly. And I should have compulsed my armor right there, because then a Lance can't be chained from hand, and he would have just gotten insanely punished, and it would have been really funny, but I would have felt kind of bad, because he's obviously fucking around a little bit. Anyways, I go to compulse his Christia, and he has the Lance, so now his Christia is going to go down to 2,000 and still attack over my armor. I'll get my armor effect, but now if he has another Lance, because I have a Dark Hole in my hand, if he has another Lance, I'm in pretty bad spot. Pretty terrible spot. But yeah, I searched the MK2, which might seem a little suspect to him just because he just put a Christie on board, and then I immediately search a card, which if its effect is to special summon. But fortunately for me, he's very short on cards. He only has one unknown card, which is he has the orange light that he searched off of the Sangan that he tributed, and then he has one unknown. I Dark Hole. He doesn't. The unknown card is not a Lance, so he's cooked. You can see I top decked into the Compulse there, anyways. And now I set another armor, which again, very lucky. I found another armor, so I actually hard drew 3 armors, or 2 armors and an Arsenal. So very fortunate on my part. You can see he hard drew double Shine Ball. Get fucked. And he pitches orange light plus Shine Ball to set his grave to 4. And I am giving this a big think, because I have the MK2 that I searched, so I can go MK2 special armor, and then when he slams down his Christia, he can I can compulse it, and then I have my big play, like my flip armor, and he's just gonna die. If you let Geargia sit for a turn with like an armor, an MK, or a Gear Gigant, like you're you're gonna die, like, for sure. Even in the boring version, you get out advantaged really hard. In this version, you just get OTK'd with the Karakuris. But I'm thinking really hard because you can see my hand is card car, and I don't remember the other card. But I want to go armor, but I know that I can lose if he draws into lance off the top. So because I need to compulse his Christia, and if he lances it, then he attacks over my armor, and it's just wraps. So what I end up doing is the extremely conservative play. I'm gonna end up going for this Arsenal, Tribute Arsenal, special summon. Oh no, I drew a Giano. Oh, that sucks. It's actually minus because I special summoned the Giano from my hand. Yeah, so I'm gonna end up making this very conservative play and special summoning the Giano from my hand and overlaying into something bigger than Christia, which is a Acid Golem. So this sucks to do this, but it just gives my opponent the least amount of possible top decks. He top decks a Heavy Storm, which actually wouldn't have even been good enough because I have a Starlight Road here. I get punished for special summoning the Acid Golem because now I can't special summon my Stardust off the Starlight Road, but again, in general, I do take relatively conservative lines in Yu-Gi-Oh! Just because I don't want to get punished by, like, my opponent top decking something. I want to control as much as I can control myself. So this gives him the worst possible top decks. He special summons a Christie in defense position because he's smaller than my Acid Golem, and he doesn't really have anything great to add back because I think his graveyard is like, his fairies are like double Orange Light, double Shine Ball. So this is just a disadvantage of the Agent deck where you can draw the Shine Balls and be in just a horrible position. They're fuel for Orange Light, but Orange Light's still a -1, and now he's just gonna set Shine Ball. So here I'm thinking about I have a card car in my hand, and I'm thinking about card carring, attacking his face down Shine Ball, attacking his Christia, and I'm just like, well, he'll just special summon the Christie again next turn. But that actually wouldn't have been a bad play on my part because yes, he would just special summon the Christia next turn, but he would be draw locked. So I would have had this card car that stays on the field and can attack over whatever monster he wants to set with this Christia, which is going to be a Shine Ball and Orange Light. And I'm explaining to him right here, you can just do this again next turn. That's why I'm not attacking over it. But then this card can keep attacking over his little guy. This Acid Golem can keep attacking over his Christia, and I'm not threatened by this Acid Golem because I think I drew into a Compulse. Yeah, I think my sets are Compulse, Solemn Warning, so I can Compulse this Acid Golem whenever I feel like it. And I'm at 8,000, so it's not going to hurt me. I'm not going to die from this Acid Golem. You have to be careful summoning Acid Golem if you're not going to be able to push game in a turn or two. But anyways, he top decks the Earth, so I end up Solemn warning this because now I know I can break his Christia and put it on top of his deck because that'll be his 5th fairy after I clear this Shine Ball because I have a monster in my hand. So yeah, this is curtains. He was telling me that he was thinking about crashing his Christia into my Acid Golem to put it to the top of the deck and then normal summoning Earth to shuffle away his Christia, but obviously none of that works with Solemn Warning. But yeah, that's one of the disadvantages of Christia is none of its effects are optional. You must add a fairy to hand from grave, which is an effect that activates, which can get negated by like an opposing Orange Light. And neither player can special summon. And you must return it to the top of the deck if it's sent to the graveyard. So it can brick you when you get stuck in a loop like that, where you keep slamming the Christia down. You end up in this position where you have to just like burn one of your draw phases drawing the Christia and burn one of your main phases not special summoning the Christia so that you can draw a fresh card. Anyways, my opponent opens again with Tour Guide, special summon Sangan, and I think he sits on Sangan again. He was telling me he does this all the time because it can just open up crazy plays because the Sangan can search things like Honest, or Maxi, or Orange Light, or Earth. Just the Sangan searches in the Agent deck are very good. Here I'm going to make a huge misplay. So he set 2. I know the cards that are played in this deck. I know that those cards are like Lance, Decree, MST. Those are the possible sets. And this is so stupid on my part. I know that there's a huge possibility that there's a Lance back there. I attack my arsenal in, and I get cooked by the lance. So stupid on my part. Huge misplay, but you got to learn. I mean, as we play these, as Redo has played more and we play these matchups more, we're gonna see, we're gonna have a better understanding of what's possibly set depending on the deck. At this point, you should know playing against agents that the sets are going to be things like Lance, MST, and Decree. So that is me playing fast, making a mistake, and paying the price for it because now I'm going to end up putting myself in a really bad position where I feel like I have to reborn because the agent deck can push a ton of damage because they play so many main deck boss monsters. He could just tribute summon for Christia. He could end up going into a Venus play and putting a ton of damage like that because they can go Venus into Daigusto. Yeah, my friend is just flexing on me at this point. And then he normal summons his Earth and he flips his Decree. I'm just like, yeah, dude, I'm fucking cooked. He searches his Venus. Like, this is so over. He can synchro into a Catastor, which is a huge problem for machine decks. Continue floating with his Sangan, have the Decree up, and all my cards are dead. This is why I keep MSTs in against every matchup, because even the no back row matchups are going to side things like Decree, so you can't really side out MSTs in like any matchup in Redo. And yeah, I just pick them up. I had a Maxi in my hand, so I actually could have attacked over that Sangan to bait a Venus. No, it can't even search. It can't even search Venus. I don't know. I shouldn't have attacked the tour guide, period. Now, 3 games in a row, I open access to armor, so these are not the difficult reps with this deck. The difficult reps with this deck are when you don't open a starter. You do play. So this deck plays like 9 starters or something, so it's low probability that you don't open a starter, but you do have to play through those hands, and fortunately for me, I didn't have to. I actually open a starter plus Axel, so I don't even have to risk side deck Nobleman or deal with like a turn 1 Thunder King because I just go straight into GGX. So this is something to think about oftentimes, whether or not you want to go GGX or just sit on armor. Usually it's probably better to go GGX because this applies so much pressure. You replace one of the cards that you use to overlay right here with a machine of your choosing, which is crazy, obviously. And then you also apply pressure where that you're going to get another search next turn. This is a 2300 body, and it floats into a Giano, which floats into a Accelerator, which floats into a Geargia. So like this is just very good open for Geargia, and then I set 4. Yeah, I think my opponent's fucked. I think I drew probably like perfectly. I drew Geargia plus Axel and 4 back row, and obviously I'm not just doing like I'm not just setting silly. So I have judgment back there, and then this is an issue I have with duality right here, where he reveals Christia, Hyperion, and Chaos Stork, which are all of the different types of boss monsters, which all require something in the graveyard to special summon. So this gives me so much information on his hand. He adds a Chaos Stork, and the darks in this deck are like Tour Guide, Trag, Gores. So I know when he adds the Chaos Stork that he has one of those cards, and I know because he chose to duality, he probably doesn't have Tour Guide, because if he has Tour Guide, the better play is to go Tour Guide into Tempo most likely. I guess it's not that great into 4 back row. And then he ends up setting his Decree, and I space it. So he's just totally cooked. This is also kind of peculiar to just put a Ryo down and not attack. He's threatening Honest by doing this, and he's probably expecting to force me to attack into the Ryo, hope he doesn't have Honest, and main phase 2 resolve the effect. But the thing is, I chose to search an MK2, so I can actually play through Honest by normal summoning the MK2, special summoning a Giano, and then overlaying into something that threatens Ryo. So if I go into a Zen mains, even if I crash into an Honest, I can still pop the Ryo on the end phase. So this completely plays around if he did draw into an Honest. But anyways, what I was saying, him adding a Sork off that tells me that he doesn't have an agent in his hand, or else he definitely would have added Hyperion. And he probably doesn't have a Tour Guide. So he definitely has like Trag Gores. So here I'm just going to put my armor. Oh, I get to have my battle phase and hit him for 4,000. So I ask if there's anything on the 17, and then I hit with the 23 because I have a solemn warning down. I would warning a Gores here, but he actually drops a Trag, and this does not really threaten me at all. So I have a Fiendish Chain down too, and I think my back row is like warning. No, no, it's not Fiendish Chain. I think I have warning, Black Horn, Solemn Judgment, and then maybe that's the Fiendish Chain. I have just crazy back row. Um, but what I was saying earlier, I don't. If he has another spell card in his hand, I don't agree with him setting Lone Decree because, like, it's probably not gonna walk. Actually, something that ProStorm did in his like top 8 or top 4 match against Samu was he set a duality, Lone set a duality, hoping for Samu to burn his MST on it. Samu did MST that Lone set duality, and then ProStorm's Decree, which he held, ended up just winning him the match. Um, I didn't agree with Samu blind spacing his duality because I think that he should have just waited for the Decree to flip up to hit the space. Um, but anyways, that's something that you can do when you have such a powerful card like Decree that you want to survive. It's okay to set bluffs in that case. Anyways, I top decked into the Watchdog, so he's super dead. There's really not much to talk about here. If you know how this deck works, you know that um, flip armor with a tuner is like wraps. He's super dead. This only plays one Watchdog, one Strategist. I always think about playing a second Watchdog, but then whenever I do, I get slapped in the face by it. But yeah, he's super dead. I could special summon the Accelerator here and synchro into a Beret and leave the armor up, which is technically more damage. But I'd rather float with this Accelerator into the MK2 because the MK2 in this deck can be anything. Like I can normal summon MK2 and get the armor, which is standard, or I can get the Arsenal, and then I can grab a Giano from deck. It's actually in my graveyard, so I can just get the Giano, overlay into a 3, or Tribute Giano, Special Summon Watchdog, and then Synchro 7. But I just show him I have the warning, so there's nothing that can stop this from killing him. So that's the game here. Yeah, that was kind of I got pretty lucky with the draws, but yeah, that's just kind of how it goes. If you give Geargia a turn, and then obviously my opponent didn't open super well. I guess he opened solid enough with the Decree and the Tour Guide. But yeah, duality just being a little bit too slow right there and giving me a little bit too much information. So I'll show the deck here just so that you guys can see what I was playing, and you can decide to test whatever you want if you're interested in this KGM deck. I do think that the extra deck has like options that you could flex in because you only play one MK2, but you have so much access to it that like it's really not unlikely for you to have a rank 3 play. And then I think I play the Big Eye because I don't have the deck in front of me, but I'm pretty sure I play Big Eye because I have access to the Fortress really easily, and going into a 7 is also very easy, a Synchro 7. So Big Eye is obviously a crazy card. It can push for game in bad situations. And then I also play double Fortress because it's a pretty solid draw when you have potential bricks in your deck like the Watchdog or the Giano, which you like to get to the grave, because if you get Watchdog Giano to the grave, or if you get Watchdog Arsenal to the grave, you can just normal summon MK2, and that's a rank 3 or a Synchro 7 with normal summon MK2, special summon either Giano or Arsenal, and then Arsenal get the Giano from deck if Giano's not in grave. Tribute the Giano, special summon Watchdog, and then you can go straight into a Beret or a Black Rose. I don't know if I play Landois in this version of the deck because it's pretty low on spells, but you can go into a Landois as well, which is a really good card. Yeah, just a quick match with my friend. I have a lot of decks built for Redo, so if people let me know what kind of decks they would like to see played, I probably have it built, and I can definitely play it with my buddy as we gear up for this major in February that I'm about to win.